Your child is screaming, clinging to your leg, the teacher is peeling them off you. If that sounds painfully familiar, welcome to this explainer. We are diving into one of the absolute most stressful parenting moments out there. But here's the good news. I promise you this is completely fixable, and the solution starts entirely with what you, the parent, do at goodbye.
Seriously, if you're picturing this exact nightmare at the daycare or school door right now, just know there is hope. The absolute best clinical research tells us that you don't even need to change your child to stop the tears. You just need to change the routine. It's all about how we handle that exact moment of separation.
First off, take a huge, deep breath. Separation distress? It's a completely normal developmental stage. It is super common in toddlers and preschoolers. So this is absolutely not a sign that you're doing something wrong or that your kid is somehow broken. Honestly, it's just biology. Mammalian offspring are literally hardwired to stick close to their caregivers when they feel vulnerable. It's a survival instinct.
Okay, let's jump into Section 1, the accommodation trap.
This is a really fascinating area of psychology that explains how our very best, most loving parenting instincts can actually accidentally make separation anxiety so much worse. When our kids are upset, our gut reaction is to rescue them, right? So we do things that feel kind in the moment, like that long, drawn-out goodbye, or offering endless reassurances. Sometimes we sneak out when they aren't looking, or in really extreme cases, we just cave and take them home. Clinicians actually call these rescue behaviors family accommodation. And this highlights a massive disconnect between your intent and what your child actually hears. What feels like loving comfort to you, staying a bit longer, holding them super tight, doing that whole goodbye dance, well, that actually signals to your child's primal brain that the separation must genuinely be dangerous. They're thinking, wait, if this place is safe, why is mom lingering and looking so worried? You are accidentally feeding the panic.
And we really need to talk about sneaking out for a second. It is so incredibly tempting, but man, it is especially harmful. Sure, it might successfully avoid the tears today, but it completely shatters their trust. Disappearing teaches your child to stay hypervigilant. If they think you might just vanish into thin air at any second, they're definitely going to cling to you 10 times harder tomorrow. So, golden rule, never sneak out.
Moving right along to Section 2, the parent-based solution. The really beautiful thing about this approach is that you can effectively treat this anxiety without ever needing to put your young child in therapy. Researchers at Yale found that family accommodation is almost universal when kids are anxious, and it's directly tied to how severe that anxiety gets. But here's the truly empowering part. Reducing accommodation is the lever you actually control. You can't force your child to just stop feeling anxious, but you absolutely control whether or not you accommodate that fear.
And the science backing this is just phenomenal. In a randomized trial, researchers tested a parent-only treatment called SPACE. They basically coach parents to just reduce those accommodation behaviors at the door and simply project support. And the result? Changing only the parent's behavior was proven to be just as effective at measurably lowering the child's anxiety as putting the child through cognitive behavioral therapy themselves. That's huge.
Which brings us to Section 3, your 4-step action plan. So how do we actually apply that research to a chaotic Tuesday morning meltdown? You need to consistently implement these 4 steps. First, create a short, warm, highly predictable routine. Second, project calm, even if your heart is breaking. This is called co-regulation. Your calm nervous system naturally steadies theirs. Third, actively cut out that endless reassurance loop. And fourth, partner with the teacher so you have a firm, consistent handoff. Now, in moments of high stress, your brain might just freeze up. So you need a script. I want you to memorize this exact phrase. Give them one warm hug and confidently say, "I love you, I'll be back after snack, you're going to be okay." Say it with total confidence and then immediately walk away. Seriously, do not look back. Don't hesitate. If they start protesting, pair your support with unshakable confidence. Say something like, "This is hard, and I know you can handle it." Notice the subtle difference there. You're validating their feelings. Yes, it's hard, but instead of rescuing them, you're showing absolute belief in their ability to cope. That's exactly how you stop accommodating the fear and start building their resilience.
This works incredibly well because predictability instantly lowers the brain's threat signal. Think about building a predictable handoff ritual with the teacher, maybe a quick wave at the window. And here's a fact that should bring you so much comfort. Once that threat signal drops, the protest almost always fades within minutes of you leaving. They really do stop crying shortly after you're completely out of sight.
All right, Section 4, when to seek help.
Since we know a bit of separation anxiety is totally normal, where exactly is the line for professional support? According to the criteria, it only becomes a clinical concern, separation anxiety disorder, if the distress is intensely severe, persistent, and causes real, tangible impairment in your child's life, like an absolute inability to attend school at all, or panicking even when left with deeply trusted caregivers like a grandparent. Knowing this difference helps us not overreact to those normal developmental phases.
But hey, if your child's distress is severely impairing their daily life, please do consult a professional. The incredibly good news is that this is highly treatable. The official clinical guidelines actually list cognitive behavioral therapy as a fantastic first-line treatment, with medications like SSRIs added only when absolutely necessary. So if things are severe, there's really excellent help available.
And finally, Section 5, creating a brave plan.
To wrap things up, here's a really practical tool you can use at home right now to make this whole thing easier. Check out the Fear Me Not app. It transforms that stressful drop-off into a structured, gamified Brave plan. It helps you establish and stick to your clear goodbye ritual, and it features a Brave chart that your kid gets to proudly fill in after every independent day. It's a brilliant way to shift the focus away from anxiety and onto empowerment.
So you now understand the science behind family accommodation. You've got the tools, you have the exact script, and most importantly, you have the power to fix this just by changing your own behavior. So my final question to you is this. Are you ready to change the goodbye dance and step into a braver morning? Take that unshakable confidence right to the classroom door tomorrow. You've totally got this.